Welcome to Forex Daybreak, a daily podcast where we cover 8 Forex pairs and give you our view on the market direction for these pairs. If you are trading Forex market, this is the #1 show to start your trading day. Now, let's begin today's episode.
Good morning everybody and welcome to Forex Daybreak episode 20. In this daily Forex update, I will give you my view on 8 Forex pairs I analyze using Elliott wave principle. My name is Ville Vainio and today is 3rd of September 2015. This podcast is recorded also as video and it is available from the members area at ForexDayBreak.com. Show notes for this episode can be found at ForexDayBreak.com/20. Now let's get started and let's get right onto the Forex market with our first pair, which is Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD has made it slightly lower and the price action is quite mild since yesterday. We had a down day yesterday. The price went down close to 100 pips, maybe 90 pips altogether yesterday. The price now 112.19 and my wave count is proposing more downside on Euro USD for completing the final 5th wave of this 5-wave sequence, which started on the high at 117, which is the high 117.13. So from that decline, 5 waves down is needed to complete the first larger 5-wave sequence, and then a larger correction can take place. This week is of course the non-farm payroll release on Friday, tomorrow, and this might cause some waiting on the market, so perhaps there isn't going to be any big moves before the release of that report and those figures. I think this is highly anticipated NFP number since the rate hike that has been on the table for the whole year of 2015 and the last part of 2014. It has been talked about for close to a year now that the Federal Reserve is going to raise their benchmark interest rate, and now the September has been the strong candidate for the initial rate hike, and this NFP number is the one figure that supposedly is going to neither get the rate hike or put it again on the next month or even in 2016. So this is perhaps the one figure that will, or at least the market participants think that will affect on the decision of the rate hike. The price action and the wave structure on Euro USD would propose that we would get not a great figure but not bad neither, so I would perhaps look for close to the estimate, the consensus figure. I haven't even checked what that is, but I would imagine that we get slightly below or slightly above the consensus number on the NFP Friday. Okay, let's get back to the Euro USD. Key levels are that 113.3 is the immediate resistance on the upside and 112 on the downside support area, which has held multiple times. When we get a clear break through this area around 112 even area. When we get a break below that area and a 5-wave structure to the downside, I have projected the end of this last wave to be in 110.1 area, so 1101 area, before the larger correction can take place. That would be a 3-wave upwards move and would conclude then minute wave 2 of this last larger 5-wave decline. So perhaps in 110.1 area we could see a decline tomorrow if we get a good NFP number. Remember that I put a trade yesterday in my Euro USD chart. The trade is looking slightly on the profit. It's now, let's see, well, 50 pips on the profit, so going okay. I can start to think about bringing my stop loss down a little, and my target is it's 111.2 is my target right now, so perhaps I will lower my target as well if this is still going down and declining nicely, and would give a stronger signal that we are out of this 4th wave correction and will get a decline towards the end of this smaller 5-wave sequence. So that is going okay, I would say. So perhaps we get a mild trading day today in Euro USD and maybe most of the dollar pairs, and also tomorrow could be a slightly slower day in anticipation of the non-farm payroll numbers. Okay, let's move on to dollar yen. In this pair we have seen an upwards move. My wave count is proposing that the 3rd wave up has begun. First 2 waves of the last decline, first small degree waves has been completed, and we should get more upside on dollar yen. We are right now at the 120.4 resistance area, or support, has been a support area previously, now will act as minor resistance area perhaps, and the next key levels on dollar yen are 121.4, next resistance on the upside, and downside 119 and 2, and once we break through this 120.4 area, I would imagine that it will act as support level also. So upside is expected here, and also I put a trade yesterday on this and it's going okay as well. There is a well slight profit, nothing major, 30 pips on the profit, so on the profit, but nothing big happening here. But I'm expecting more upside and hope to keep this trade going for a while. Okay, next is pound dollar. The decline has continued here, and I think probably the first wave has not ended yet, or perhaps this new low is the end of the first wave down. The new low is at 152.625, the price now 153, quite even 153 is now the price, and perhaps we will see a correction next The wave divisions are slightly hard to figure out. The strong downwards push is probably wave 3, and perhaps we are now at the end and forming minuet wave 2 correction here. Key levels on pound dollar. 153.35 is the next upside resistance. 151.9 on the downside next support, and this is the new low. So let's see how this develops. I wouldn't necessarily trade this right now, since the wave division is slightly hard to figure out if we are going to get more downside before larger correction, or if we are now starting to form the larger wave 2 corrective move to the upside. Next is euro pound. Euro pound has declined slightly since yesterday. Yesterday's highs were not broken. The high was 0.7393, the price now 0.733, and I'm still expecting more upside to complete this last 5th wave. Perhaps we are now in 4th wave on this 5th wave, so I can see a 4 wave structure right now. The critical level for this count is the 0.7297 level, which is perhaps the first wave peak. If we look at this on a smaller time frame charts, we can see this peak 0.72975 is the first wave peak, and if we stay on top of that level and don't decline further than that level, then this count is looking more likely, and perhaps we will see the final wave up today or maybe tomorrow. If the NSP is strong for the dollar, it could mean a weaker euro all around, so perhaps we will see the upwards move before Friday's NFP release. So look for this move to the upside on euro pound. Key levels on euro pound are that 0.7279 is the downside critical level, like I talked, and upside level is still the same, 0.739, which has held and has still held. So those are the levels to watch for, and I would like to see a new high made here, new midterm high, maybe 0.743, 0.744 level would be the target for the last push higher before the larger reversal can happen. Okay, next is euro yen, and we are slightly lower but still quite choppy ride from the peak of the B wave, what I have labeled. And I look at this before, and I'm not fully satisfied on this count. This C wave hasn't really started, so perhaps we are not in C wave yet. If we get a decent 5 wave structure out of this decline, then this gives more stronger signal that the C wave has begun, and this count is looking more viable. I wouldn't enter any trade into this pair because there is very hard to figure out the correct wave divisions and the count. Key levels are more or less the same. 135.8 is the next resistance on the upside, 135 is the downside support, which was same as yesterday. So nothing major has developed in this pair. Next is pound yen. Pound yen is slightly higher, and perhaps we will get more upside in this pair, since this is looking corrective, the latest decline from the peak of the minute wave 2, which is at 189, 190, almost 190 is the peak of minute wave 2, and the decline from there to the latest low, which is at 182.45. The price now 184.3. So the decline from the 190 peak is in 3 waves. If we get one more decline, then it is 5 waves, but still overlapping. So it is looking corrective, and I would say that we are still forming the minute wave 2 correction and would get more upside in the future. Key levels in pound yen are 185 is the upside resistance next, and 182.42 is the support level on the downside, and this is the recent low, which was yesterday or day before that formed. So those are the levels to watch for in pound yen. Next is Euro Canadian, and here the price has been hovering around 149 for the past few days and is in a very tight range at the moment. The price now 148.45, 148.85. Fourth wave correction is forming, and I'm looking for a decline next in this pair to complete the first 5 wave structure. Okay, finally is US dollar Canadian dollar, and this correction is getting more and more complex. The price now 132.67, and key levels on US dollar Canadian are 132.12 is the downside support. This is the previous third wave high, and the resistance level on the upside is the recent long-term high at 133.5. I wouldn't do anything with this pair. It's hard to forecast. If my wave labeling is proposing that we are forming the C wave of the fourth wave, but as of this point this is all sideways overlapping and hard to figure out what is the correct labeling here. The B wave I have labeled the latest high can be actually the fifth wave peak, so let's see how this develops, and I would not trade this at this point. I talked about before that you can go short towards the 128.6 level, but I would hold that. If you want to own this trade, then perhaps stay on it, but hard to say at this point what is the correct wave count here, and I wouldn't recommend trading this at this point. Okay, that's all for today's episode. Visit the show notes at ForexDayBreak.com/20 and leave your comments on that page. And remember that this podcast is recorded also as video, and it is available from the members area at ForexDayBreak.com. 2 other features you find there are my Elliott Wave Ninja trading system and my mentoring program. All of these are included in the subscription plan at ForexDayBreak.com. I have a 5-day free trial for you to see what's inside. Thanks for listening to my show. Now go make some profits, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thanks for your interest in Forex Daybreak Daily Podcast. If you like this show, we hope you'll visit our website, www.ForexDayBreak.com, and tell your friends about us. Be sure to check the show notes on our website for this episode. Join us next time for another episode of Forex Daybreak.